Thor, god of thunder.
This is Loki, god of evil.
And this is Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
Everyone, welcome to another episode of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. I'm Jill.
And I'm Nick, and as always, we want to thank our sponsors, Lawrence Tech University, Possible is Everything. Very cool outfit today.
Well, thank you. We are celebrating Marvel today.
That's right, because Thor Ragnarok opens this week. Let's go to Mark, who's going to talk about it.
Greetings, mortals. I am Thor's dim-witted but equally attractive third cousin, Thud, the god of blunder. Here to address which motion pictures are coming to an arena in your realm. And what a coincidence, my dear cousin's latest adventure has cometh in Thor Ragnarok. Aided with the help of his friend the Hulk and brother Loki, the future king of Asgard must now deal with the goddess of death to prevent an apocalypse.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win?
No, I won, easily.
Doesn't sound right.
Well, it's true.
Second to the throne at the box office this week will most likely be Bad Moms Christmas, which is the further adventures of three underappreciated and overburdened wenches who rebel against the expectations of serving their families during your earthly holiday. Using the powers of the Infinity Stones, I will travel into the future to reveal what's coming out next year. And a film that will bring great interest to my cousin Thor is Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman. Unfortunately, that is it this weekend. I must return back to Asgard. My cousin Loki is throwing his brother a surprise party and needs me to pick up the Chikari on the way.
Well, true believers, no Marvel episode will be complete without a tribute to the great Stan Lee.
That's right, and we got the privilege of going to the Stan Lee Comic-Con in Los Angeles.
Hey, it's the Bradcast. We're at Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con. We're about to go in. This is going to be a blast.
There's only one Uhura.
And that's you.
You're damn right.
This Comic-Con has everything from A-list celebrities to cult favorites.
What was the nerdiest thing about you when you were actually in high school?
Oh, man. The fanny pack. That's the fanny pack.
They have cosplayers from do-it-yourselfers to national champions. They have discussion panels from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe all the way to Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And we have celebrity signings with the Black Eyed Peas and the Boxmasters with Billy Bob Thornton. And our crew had a great time interacting with everyone and everything. And of course, you can't come to Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con without running into Stan Lee himself.
And remember me when I'm just a little vague memory. Yeah, he encouraged us. Whatever his name is, I forget, but he was a good guy.
Stan Lee really puts on a great show. From everybody here at Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, we'll see you next time.
Up next is Q with a look at some of the new Marvel TV shows.
This is the Q for Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. I'm here at Stan Lee's Comic-Con, and guess what? It's Marvel Week. So I'm here to talk about The Punisher. Great addition to Daredevil, and I'm very interested to see what he's going to do with his own show. Berthal is just amazing.
The world needs to see the truth.
Then we're going something a little bit for the teenagers. We got Cloak and Dagger. As I am a Cloak and Dagger fan, I'm very interested to see how they're going to play it up because that's kind of an odd show to make.
What's your name?
Tandy. And his name was...
Yeah, Tyrone.
We also have the Runaways, which is about a bunch of kids with superpowers who are actually fighting their parents. Talk about a dream come true.
What kind of charity meeting is this?
No matter what we are, we can't let our parents keep getting away with this stuff.
Even though it's Marvel Week, I want you to check out the CW Seed, which has great shows on it like the animated version of Vixen, which, as you know, she translated over into the Arrowverse.
I had that under control.
I know.
What? Not enough in Star City to keep you busy?
It also has Constantine. Check that out. I recommend it. This has been the Q from Comics Beer and Sci-Fi.
I'm not used to being on this side. I'm a righty.
You don't want to be my right-hand man?
Well, it's not that. It's just that I'm used to being on the other side.
Well, get used to it. We're going to go to our first commercial break. Stick around.
Out of all the burger and beer joints, you walk into this one. Good call, because now you're face-to-face with the best burger you'll ever have. Handcrafted, locally sourced, and grilled to perfection. Bagger Dave's. Locals wanted.
Hey fellas, these Howie specials with Cajun crust must be yours. So, where's the game?
There's no game.
Hungry Howies, how may I help you? Yeah, I can't.
These guys again? Well, at least they don't have an air horn.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget. Hungry? Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
I want a career in robotics and automation, so I chose Lawrence Tech for its first in Michigan robotics engineering program. LTU's brand new STEM complex has a robotics lab where we can design, build, and program robots in a creative atmosphere. And the best thing is, I haven't graduated yet, but I already have a job in my field. I know I made the right choice for my career. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
We're going to go to Shannon right now, who recently had a behind-the-scenes tour of Bagger Dave's Burger Tavern.
Hey, it's Shannon. For today's beer segment, we're drinking beer and eating burgers at Bagger Dave's.
Our company created Bagger Dave's in 2006 is when we started working on it. Basically, a group of employees wanted to open a local tavern that focused on craft beer and craft burgers.
I choose and mandate 7 beers for each location. It's a tough decision. There's a lot of great craft breweries in Michigan. You know, really it's just what the guests are telling us, what they want on tap.
I'm about to be the happiest girl in the world. I'm hanging out with Mike, Director of Operations. More importantly, the meat man. I hear you got a bunch of beer and a bunch of meat and French fries for me to eat.
So the first one we're going to do here is this is our Great American Cheeseburger. Start with the fry, the 6-step Belgian boutique French fry that we have, and we're going to pair that with our Two-Hearted, Bell's Two-Hearted.
Another classic.
Another classic. Can't go wrong with this.
The best IPA in the world.
We have this on special, $6.95 every Tuesday.
Everyone knows I really like beer. That's a given. But I really, really, really like cheese.
Talking my language now. But we did do a cheddar and Parmesan crisp on the grill, on the flat top. Throw it on a nice little bacon burger here. And we're gonna pair this one here with our Founders Mosaic IPA. Use something nice and light to wash it down.
They have that so dialed in at this point. Absolutely. It's unreal. I'm not even full yet.
Well, you're about to be.
We have this giant burger in front of me and one more beer.
We have paired our famous Trainwreck burger with Mountain Town Trainwreck beer.
And I'm about to be a train wreck.
We both are about to be train wrecked.
The meat. Tell me about the meat.
Burger Tavern, we have to hit the burger out of the park. It's a mix of sirloin, chuck, and prime rib. You got something right there.
I'm such a train wreck. Hey everyone, thanks for having me out to Bagger Dave's for local burgers and beer. Cheers!
Cheers! Thanks, Shannon. Everyone make sure to check out your local Bagger Dave's.
And now let's go over to Mark, who had a chance to talk to a great cosplayer, y'all.
Hey, this is Mark at the Motor City Comic Con 2017. I'm here with Michael Rooker himself.
How you doing, boy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. It's a nice crowd out here today, man.
So, what brings you here today?
You know, doing some autographs, taking some pictures, hanging out. Got some fans out here. Just treat them to a good time, boy.
I'd like to comment on your attire here. So how'd you come up with this?
Well, you see, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Oh, Mary Poppins,
Yeah.
That's great. So, do you see anybody here that you want to ravage?
Well, I saw that boy Quill walking around. He wouldn't come say hi to me. I was a little upset about that. But I'm looking out for some people, you know. Take out some zombies. You know, maybe see some cowboys, take them out too.
Get some autographs?
Oh, yeah. Get some autographs, sign some autographs, all that stuff.
Is there anyone here in particular you want to get their autograph?
Oh, well, I'd really like to get the autograph of Michael Rooker.
Oh, Michael Rooker's here.
Rooker's here.
How quick did it take you to come up with this costume?
We were actually going to do 3 hobbits because my wife is Pippin. And our friend is being Frodo, and I was going to do Merry. And then we went and saw the movie the day it came out, and I was like, I got to change it. I went to thrift stores, and like this was there one day, the umbrella was there the next day. It was like someone was dropping off pieces for me. It's mostly just bought frivolously. I'm actually wearing a swim cap, not a bald cap. Because I didn't want to have to latex it to my head or anything. And my fin's made of foam and duct tape and paint, so.
And now we're going to go to Chris, who had a chance to talk to Marvel artist Arbel Jones.
This is Chris from Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. With me, I have accomplished artist, illustrator, Arbel Jones.
And I only got to create one hero. I created a lot of villains, but one hero, the first African-American female superhero, Misty Knight. Everybody thinks it's Storm, but Storm's African.
At what point did you say, I want to do this for a living, and how did you break into it?
I started when I was a kid, wanted to do it as a living. I ran into a bunch of other like-minded individuals here in Detroit, and I met them at comic conventions, you know, and met them at a few bookstores. There came a point where there was about 10 of us. Rich Buckler, the creator of Deathlock, Jim Starlin, the creator of Thanos, Terry Austin, he was like an inker on the X-Men like forever, Tom Orzechowski, the guy that did the logo for Wolverine.
What was your best or most outstanding memory of Mr. Stan Lee?
I had completed the first issue of Marvel Premiere featuring Iron Fist. And I walked in, and you know, anytime you walk into Marvel offices back then, Stan's office is the first office you have to pass. And I heard this noise coming from behind me, more like a yelling, more like a screaming. And I said, that sort of sounds like Stan Lee's voice. And what he was saying was, who did this book? And Stan was walking up to me, shaking this book real hard, and he comes up to me and he said, did you do this book? And his veins were popping out and everything, you know, I thought I was fired for sure. And he said, did you do this book? And I said, yeah, heart was up in my throat, I could hardly speak. I would say, yes. And he goes, man, this was fantastic. It reminds me of the days of me and Jack Kirby when we were doing Captain America versus Batroc. I love the sequential storytelling you did in this. This is great. Enough said. Excelsior.
And now it's time for our next commercial break.
That's right. But don't forget, true believers, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And we'll be right back with more maniacal Marvel madness and mayhem.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
here today at Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school in Southfield, to see how they're training their students for the growing demand in the heating and cooling industry.
With our years of experience and literally thousands of successful graduates, Northwestern Tech has been debunking this myth that you need a 4-year degree to have a great career. Our HVAC program was designed to give our students the hands-on skills to be working in the field in only 10.5 months.
This is Heather Park reporting from Southfield that Northwestern Tech really is the HVAC school that works.
We don't frost brew our beer, and hot chicks won't appear if you drink it. Our beer doesn't come in a bow tie shaped can or need color indicators to tell you it's cold. It won't be delivered by Clydesdale horses, and to tell you the truth, we aren't the most interesting people in the world. Fact of the matter is, we don't tell stories. We just let our beer do the talking.
Thanks for sticking around. I'm Joe, and this is my sidekick, Nick.
Yeah, I'll kick you in the side later. We're going to go over to Richie now.
We're here for the comic book signing of the Black Eyed Peas, Masters of the Sun.
We already launched the ER app. It's going to be out after Black Friday.
And we had a chance to talk to some of the performers that are characters in the book.
Sarah! Hey. Smile. Why don't you smile a while for me, Sarah?
I mean, it's an honor, man, to be on Will's project, because let me tell you something. When Black Eyed Peas first came out on the road, they came out on the road with us. Anything Will need from Flav, man, I got him.
What is your character in this book?
Her name is Amariti, and she's basically like the bodyguard of the main character, which is Zulu X. And she's just this really bad bitch who just gets it done, and she's really just a strong character.
How did you get involved with this project?
Well, I work really close with Will.I.Am. I'm actually under his management. He's my boss, so him and I are working really great together. I'm excited about Comic-Con, Marvel. He is really, really close with Marvel, so it's just dope.
And since Masters of the Sun is a Marvel comic book, Stan Lee came and made a special appearance.
I'm just fascinated. This is his weekday watch. You should see the one he wears on weekends.
That's right.
All right, go pick up Masters of the Sun by the Black Eyed Peas at your local comic book store. And this is Richie Rollins for Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
All right, let's go over to Samantha, who's looked at some of the best Marvel video games.
Hey there, this is Samantha with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, and I'm at the Stan Lee Comic-Con in LA. This gaming segment is brought to you by Lawrence Tech. First up is LEGO Marvel Superhero 2. Join your favorite superheroes and supervillains from different eras and realities as they go head-to-head in the all-new original adventure. You can be any character you desire. You can play as the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, and dozens of other Marvel superheroes and villains in this cosmic battle. Players don't have to leave the house to travel the lands because this game takes you everywhere. From ancient Egypt to the Old West, Planet Hulk, and New York City, you can transport objects and characters within each realm and take advantage of the new gaming modes. If you're interested in playing this one, you can pick it up on November 17th for your favorite platform.
Kang is attacking our homelands, pulling together our worlds across space and time into one mega city.
Isn't it glorious?
He must be stopped.
We've got work to do.
Cosmo needs to be working with heroes from across time on plan to put universe back in order.
Next up is a fighting game, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. If you want to play the games incorporated in tag team battles, then check this one out. Players form teams of 2 or 3 characters, and controlling one fighter at a time, attempt to damage and knock out their opponents. With 30 playable characters, players can switch out their characters during the match, allowing team members to replenish their health and prolong their ability to fight. You can choose one of the 6 powerful Infinity Stones. Each Infinity Stone will customize characters with unique abilities and powerful game-changing effects. The first game was released in 1996. This is the 6th entry in the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
We had a dream. Our 2 diseased realities united to form a single perfect universe. Will you not bow before your god? You are no god.
Well, Stan, that's it for this week. This has been Samantha on Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
Thanks, Samantha. And if you're interested in making games as well as playing them, then you need to check out Lawrence Technological University.
LTU offers 2 great programs, game art and game software development. Check out their website for more information. Now, back in the 80s, Marvel published several comics based on toy tie-ins, including G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Marvel also produced a cartoon series based on that toy.
Which, speaking of, we're going to go to Q, who talked to a G.I. Joe podcaster.
This is the Q from Comic Experience Sci-Fi. I'm here at the legendary Golden Apple comic book store. So, according to you, because you're the G.I. Joe experts, so the remake cartoons, do you see them as comparable to the original cartoons, or are they just, to you, just a waste of time?
No, I don't think they're a waste of time. I think they're well done. I think they're fun to watch. On my show, I like to refer to it as there's no talking birds on the new shows. The old show had these elements of, it was grounded in, a cartoon reality.
Right.
But then you had a talking bird.
Okay.
And then you had a dentist with no shirt running around creating clones of dead emperors,
Right.
So there's a charm that comes to having Serpentor run around.
Here's what's wrong with all cartoons that's out nowadays.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite episode of the original G.I. Joe series?
Oh, that's easy. It's called Worlds Without End. It's a 2-parter, and it is amazing. It deals with alternate realities. The Joes get shunted into an alternate universe, and they actually find their own corpses. It was like the only time in the show where they dealt with like hard actual death. It's a 2-parter, and then once they figure out what happened, then they have to decide: do we stay in this reality and help this world fight Cobra? Because Cobra won. A couple Joes actually stayed there.
Really?
Yeah, and then they wrote them out of the show. Although they came back in the movie, which was funny. But a lot of people look at that as one of their best favorite episodes.
Can we find your podcast on iTunes?
You can, yeah. It's iTunes, Stitcher, yeah, pretty much anywhere you find your podcasts. What we do is we watch every episode of the show in chronological order. And we interview a guest, kind of find out what their connection is to the show, and then we sit down and we Mystery Science Theater it.
This has been the Q from Comic Experience Sci-Fi with the biggest G.I. Joe expert I know, and his name just happens to be Joe.
And it's time for our last commercial break. Stick around.
Join the pop side with new Pop Chips Star Wars Galaxy Puffs, the perfect intergalactic treat for the Star Wars lover in all of us. These aged white cheddar pop puffs come in a variety of shapes. They're gluten-free, non-GMO, and made with real cheese. Take your snacking into hyperspace. Find all of Pop Chips' great flavors in your local Kroger.
I want to blend my business education and athletic skills and open my own fitness center. At Lawrence Tech, I'm learning how to research, present, and to really think like an entrepreneur. And I love the small college feel here, where there's always something to do. We have men's and women's intercollegiate sports and dozens of student organizations. I can't wait to apply what I'm learning here in the real world. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
When every seat in the house looks like this, there are no bad seats. Pull up a chair and get face-to-face with the best burger you'll ever have. Bagger Dave's, locals wanted.
I'm here today at Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school in Southfield, to see how they're training their students for the growing demand in the heating and cooling industry.
As an industry, we're in serious need of new technicians entering the field. But to work for me, you need to be trained right. That's why at Flame, we insist you go to Northwestern Tech. It's simple. If you want a career in heating and cooling, Northwestern Tech is a place for you. I highly recommend it.
This is Heather Park reporting from Southfield that Northwestern Tech really is the HVAC school that works.
Welcome back, everybody.
Fun fact, did you know Marvel released its first ever comic book in 1939?
Yes, it was called Marvel Comics #1, and the company was then known as Timely Comics.
So how old were you when that came out?
Very funny. Let's go to our comic segment with Casey.
Hey, comic book geeks and you sci-fi freaks. This is Comic Book Casey coming at you from Comic Experience Sci-Fi. We are at the LA Comic Con, and I am currently right here with Billy Bob Thornton and his band of merry men and comic book writers. How did you get involved with this?
Our band, the Boxmasters, has been together about 11 years, and Garrett had this idea about a graphic novel about a band that has to go back in the past and save rock and roll. He wanted to know if we would be willing to be that band, and since we are big fans of this kind of thing anyway, and we're sort of children of the 60s, and our band suited this story.
That's awesome. So basically, after you did the writing, what did you do to get this thing going?
I hooked up with an artist, Stan Yak, who's out of Moscow, Russia, and I just I got some concept pages done and sent it to the band and see what they think, see if they like the art. They dug it, they dug the story, and so we just started rolling. That's pretty much it.
It is a one-shot, right, in that the story has a beginning, middle, and end, and that could be it. But it also leaves an opening so there could be more. Actually, earlier today, we kind of all of us collectively said, yeah, I think we're going to do this again. This one's pretty awesome, and everybody seems to be happy, and the sales numbers are looking good. So Garrett is actually going to be meeting with Billy and the boys, I think even tonight, to start discussing ideas for the second one.
Boxmasters #1 is ready, being distributed right now, being sold in stores around the country, and being presented. Is this the first debut of it here at this Comic-Con?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Maybe you can get Stanley to take a look at it right while he's here.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying the convention so far?
It's been great. I have my 13-year-old daughter here who's a big fan of Steven Universe and My Little Pony, and we got to meet voice actors from both of those, so she's flying high right now.
You're basically the world's best dad right now.
I got so many points today, you have no idea. Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton and his band of merry men, the Boxmasters. Collect it, buy it, check it out.
Well, you've made it this far, you might as well watch our last segment. Here's Richie with what's new in home videos.
Hi, I'm Chris Evans. Richie called me to come fill in for him this week for the home video segment. New to Blu-ray this week is Orphan Black, the complete series. This was the first original scripted program for BBC America and starred Tatiana Maslany as a number of clones. The show focused on 4 of the clone sisters and explored amazing sci-fi themes while exploring the personal and psychological impact of cutting-edge experimentation. Maslany's performance alone makes this a must-see. The 10-disc set includes all 5 seasons and is available now.
I quit! I whacked him. I didn't even mean to. Oh, God.
Okay, just relax, Donnie. It's not at all well wrapped.
You're worried about the trunk?
Yes.
If you're a die-hard anime fan, you've probably already seen the new movie Your Name, which has become one of Japan's highest-grossing films of all time. The story is about 2 teenagers who mysteriously switch bodies. They begin to form a strange friendship and decide to try to meet in person. This unique mind-bender is set to be remade by J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot production company. Our last pick of the week is the British film The Limehouse Golem, written by Jane Goldman, who penned the scripts for Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, and The Kingsman. The Limehouse Golem revolves around a series of murders that has shaken Victorian London. People begin to believe that the mythical golem creature is responsible for the mayhem. This period piece thriller stars the incredible Bill Nighy and up-and-comer Olivia Cooke, who set the star in next year's blockbuster Ready Player One.
I believe the golem is after me.
I shall stop this. I guarantee it.
We all wear pantomime masks, do we not?
Here we are again!
Join us next week when Richie will be back for the home video segment here on Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
Thank you, Richie. And once again, we've reached the end of another episode of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
That's right. Let's thank our sponsors at Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. And make sure you stay tuned in next week. We're going to have our Big Bang Theory episode.
Bazinga!